Okay, hi guys. It's Louis at Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. I'm not expecting that many of you to join me. Uh, I woke up this morning and I thought we need to give Elvis Presley Fan on Keto some attention. Got me a cup of tea. So morning to you. I'm still a bit all scruffy and not properly awake. I find that Dr. Ken Berry's live streams with Nisha, as you'll see in a minute, is the quickest way to learn about the diet. Obviously, you know my story. The diet reversed all my health problems like ulcerative colitis, high blood pressure, high blood sugars, dizzy spells, no energy. All of that has gone. I'm completely off any medications now. I used to be on some very strong steroids and I just felt down on life. And it was discovering Dr. Ken Berry that transformed my life, really. Once I started the carnivore diet, started doing fasting, I was watching Dr. Ken Berry every day. So I started to understand how my body works. It changed my whole life. I had a big belly. I was overweight. I was literally reborn after discovering Dr. Ken Berry, but it took a while because I had to understand why it works, why stopping sugar and all of the other rubbish that we're all eating, bread, pasta, rice, chocolates, donuts, cakes, sweets, fizzy drinks, all these things that some of us think some of these foods are good for us. Even brown bread, it's not good for you. Margarine is not good for you. Vegetable oils are poisonous, in my opinion. It was once I introduced fatty meat and eggs as the main part of my diet, only eating once or twice a day, mainly drinking water. I did was a standout thing on my mind. So that has gone. That has gone. So let's play the video. Let's just go through some of it together. We're not going to play all of it. It's a very long video. But my advice to anyone out there is watch the live streams of Dr. Ken Berry, and that way you keep what you'll find is that people are phoning in or messaging in asking questions. We listen to the answers. That's when we learn. Okay, guys, I'm just going to press play and we'll go from there.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Which is?
The one you were just on.
Oh, where?
Lonnie Lee.
Obviously, it's a reaction video, so we're going to react.
Yes, Lonnie Lee, is it okay
questions.
to eat non-pasture eggs? Great question, because you hear so many gurus out there being like,
so remember, they've just asked about non-pasture eggs. Let's just hear what they say. Let's learn together, guys.
oh, if that egg doesn't glow in the dark and it's not dark brown and the yolk is not brilliant orange, don't eat it. It's GMO or something. So what do you think about this question?
A cheap egg is better than any processed crap on the shelf any day, all day. If you go to the Dollar General, which is what we have around here, they used to, last year, they were selling a dozen eggs for $1. That I would rather you buy whatever they're selling, even if it's the cheapest eggs on the market,
100%,
as opposed to some, Cheerios or whatever.
Yeah, anytime somebody.
I'm going to fully agree with Nisha. Nisha is Dr. Ken Berry's wife. She's beautiful and she has her own channel. She does recipes and many other things. They both have great channels, Nisha. But anything, how can I say it? People talk about the cheaper products, like the cheap meats, like frankfurters and tinned meat. In my opinion, I'd rather you eat cheap meats than a cake, than a donut, than a sandwich made with bread. I'd rather you eat cheap eggs than these very disgusting ultra-processed foods that are damaging your health and your body. So that's the answer. It doesn't matter if it's cheap. Not everyone can afford to go out and buy ribeye steaks. Bacon is a brilliant example of a good cheap meat that is very good for you. Fatty meat and eggs, a bit of salt, water, that's all you need.
Somebody asked the question like this, my answer is compared to what? So, the cheapest supermarket eggs compared to our eggs in our hen house, where the bugs ate nothing but bugs and worms, and the chickens ate nothing but bugs and worms and grass. those eggs are going to be better than the supermarket eggs, right? That doesn't make the supermarket eggs bad, makes them less good. So now let's say, what about the cheap supermarket eggs compared to a bowl of cornflakes?
100 times better.
100 times better. Not
they have-
inflammatory, full of vitamins and minerals.
You can actually absorb the nutrients
100%.
inside of those
Yes,
eggs.
yes,
So
yes.
Carrie says my eggs from the Dollar General now $6 a dozen, which is crazy. They used to be $1. But they're always stocked. So if you're not going to the Dollar General marketplace, like check those out. They have eggs there too. And if you can support if you don't want to raise chickens, find a friend who wants to and be
That's
like,
right.
hey, I'll.
Funny, because I used to have 2 chickens when I was little. One was called Clucker and one was called Snowy because it was white. And they used to lay eggs. I loved it. I was only a kid. Like, I love those chickens.
I'll buy 6 chickens for you to brood if
Mhm.
I can have some of the eggs. Make a deal.
Absolutely. That's great. And we do the same thing with lamb. There are people around here who they don't have a pasture, but they're like, man, I really want a lamb shoulder or lamb chops or a rack of lamb ribs. Let's make a deal. And so we make deals like that all the time. But if you don't have that available, you can't make that deal. You just have to hope the supermarket doesn't run out. Linda says, hey, Granny Berry from San Bernardino, California. Granny Berry's watching right now. Please tell her hello and where you're watching from. She's 94 years old.
Queen of quilts.
Queen of quilting and full of vinegar. Let me just tell you, she is.
Now, a little bit of history with Dr. Ken Berry. He is a proper doctor. He was very unwell. He was overweight. He obviously had his own doctor's practice, and he noticed the advice he was giving his patients was not working. The advice for type 2 diabetes was not working. He started to realize that the carnivore diet was working. He noticed people eating more fatty meat and eggs and getting rid of the starchy carbs and the sugars. These people were coming off insulin, were not type 2 diabetic anymore. So this made him think. This is why he started this channel, because he understood that type 2 diabetes is reversible, is curable through how you eat. He understood that many medical problems within your body can be cured by just eating the right foods, fatty meat, eggs, and salt, and completely reducing your carbs, your sugars, and the rest is history. He now has over 3.5 million subscribers.
Spicy, even though she doesn't like to eat spice. She's salty and spicy. All right, let's see what we got here. There's Coach Alyssa in the comments.
Oh, announcement. If you are in the PhD community,
yes,
Alyssa's back.
Yes.
Coach Alyssa is back. Coach Alyssa is our lead coach, and she has stepped into that role. But then she had a sweet little baby girl, and so she's been off for 3 months, spending time with that sweet girl, and now she's back in the group, and we're so excited to have her back. If you want to learn more about the community, it's drberry.com/community. Come hang out with us. It's a good time.
This is Eileen. Keto carnivore off and on for years, currently on. I don't trust doctors anymore. Tell me in the comments, how many of you guys feel this way? We were having a conversation on Twitter today about this.
I've got a comment on this, guys. I'm sorry to say that a lot of the advice we get from our doctors doesn't help us. The pills they prescribe us are making us more unwell. We get addicted to these pills. The side effects are causing damage. Now, when I had my ulcerative colitis, which is basically like OBS, IBD, IBS, Crohn's, my doctor basically said to me, you're going to have it for the rest of your life. You're going to be on strong steroids for the rest of your life. He even said it was incurable. I have to learn to live with it. There was a possibility of having part of my colon removed, and even in a worst case scenario, a colostomy bag. My doctor never said one thing to me about changing my diet, not one thing. And I, in my early 40s, was told I would have it for the rest of my life. And I suffered for over 10 years. the whole thing was a complete nightmare, and it was this diet, the carnivore diet, that fixed me. So doctors can be wrong.
And several of the doctors that I interact with put up a poll. Do you trust doctors in America anymore? It was like 98% no, 2% yes. Tell me in the comments, do you trust doctors in general? Do you trust your doctor? Because I hear this a lot.
Look, they mean well. I'm not trying to badmouth doctors, but they are trained in a certain way. They are trained that we should be following the pyramid diet, which you can look up, guys. The recommended food guidelines. That's how they're trained. A balanced diet that includes many foods that are just not good for you. Wheat is not good for you. Cereals are not good for you. We're encouraged to eat them. Fruit can be very bad for you if you overeat it. Can cause fatty liver. Fruit is full of fructose, sucrose, glucose. Everyone binges on fruit thinking it's making them healthy. It doesn't. Even salads, overeating salads, oxalates are in vegetables. So even salads, too much, can cause problems if your body has a problem with the oxalates. Look up oxalates, guys. Now, I'm not against a small amount of salad, a small amount of fruit. Look up keto. Keto allows some movement in your diet, so that you don't have to jump straight into carnivore. But if you want to really see the best benefits for your health, for your weight loss, for feeling great, carnivore is always the way to go. And really only eating once or twice a day. No snacking at all.
A lot. How would you find a good, reliable doctor? I live in the deep South where sugar's a way of life. Yes, it is. Yes, if sweet tea doesn't stand up on its own with the sugar crystals, it's not real Southern sweet tea. So Nisha and I have both kind of come to the opinion that you don't really need a doctor that you trust for most things. Because first and foremost, you're not going to be taking your doctor's advice about diet. If they ask what kind of diet you're on, you're going to say, well, I eat a whole food, a real unprocessed, low sugar diet, because that is a perfect description of keto, ketovore, and carnivore, isn't it? You don't have to say keto or carnivore because a lot of doctors are going to lose their beep if you say.
And if you're new to this channel, guys, look up the foods you're allowed on keto. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of foods in there that you can have a very interesting diet, a very nutritious, full of vitamins and minerals and fatty acids, but not just that. You can make some lovely meals on keto. Now, with carnivore, it is much more restricted. Of course, you've got lamb, pork, chicken, and obviously beef, fish. A big one with me is eggs and bacon, omelettes. I love prawn omelettes. But your body does start to adjust and it actually starts to crave these meats. My body craves meat. It craves prawns. It craves a bit of cheese. You're allowed some cheese. My body, as I got used to it, as I adjusted, you don't actually... some people think, oh, you must get fed up of meat. No, you actually eventually start to crave it. This is how the body adjusts. But keto is a brilliant way to start this diet.
Say that. So don't say that. 90 out of 100 doctors don't care about your diet or ask about it anyway. All you need for them to do is order the testing that you need done and maybe refill a prescription if you're still on one. So with that being said, there is a website, the Society for Metabolic Health Practitioners, SMHP. I don't know if it's .com or .org. I can't remember. But they have a list of low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore, line diet friendly doctors on their website, the Society for Metabolic Health Practitioners. And so you can find them there.
I have to say, and I say this every time this gets brought up, is that I don't blame the doctors because it's really not their fault that they've been put in the position that they're in.
I agree with that, guys. I agree with that.
Insurance and Medicare and Medicaid and the business that has become healthcare as opposed to healthcare being to promote health and keep people healthy. The people at the top are not doctors.
Never.
They've never spent a day in the hospital taking care of a patient in their
So remember, guys, you've got to remember that I had pre-diabetes as well. I had high blood sugars and I also had high blood pressure. There was no cure offered to me. I think the doctor said something like, don't have sugar in your tea and coffee. That's it. That's not good enough. I was going to be type 2 diabetic. It was going to happen if I carried on as I was. There was no mention to me of changing my diet. Nothing was said. I was told, oh, maybe have some less tea and less sugar in your tea and coffee. That's all I was told. And my blood pressure, when that was taken and it was too high, it was just, oh, it's your age. It's your age. Since I did this diet, carnivore diet, I did fast. I was doing 24-hour fast for the first month. My blood pressure is very, very healthy. My blood sugars are completely normal now. I'm not pre-diabetic anymore. So sometimes you have to take it on yourself to fix yourself using your own common sense, but obviously learning about this diet, carnivore or keto.
To CNA.
Yep.
To wake up and be like, this is messed up,
Yep.
and either try to fix it or find another way. Like, a lot of nurses are becoming health coaches because they actually
jump
proper
forward a
human
minute,
diet
guys.
spectrum, ranging all the way from low carb with real whole food, all the way to the lion
Let's just
diets,
go back
and
a bit,
everywhere in
guys.
between is part of a proper human diet.
We get it.
Right.
Craig,
Right,
I
here we go,
ended
guys.
up having to go from carnivore to keto. I missed some of my low carb veg like greens and tomatoes. And listen, Craig, I don't do, and everybody watching this, we're not about carnivore police or keto Nazis. We're not about any of that. The proper human diet spectrum, ranging all the way from low carb with real whole food, all the way to the lion diets, and everywhere in between is part of a proper human diet. So I actually like it when people like Craig try carnivore 3-6 months and they'll be like, yeah, but I miss bell peppers, whatever. And they go back ketovore or keto or even low carb. I love that because you can slide on the spectrum until you find the spot that makes you the happiest and you the
the
healthiest.
best way.
See, I like this, and obviously Nish is going to talk now. I 100%, I was carnivore at first. Carnivore is how you quickly lose weight, you quickly get healthy, you quickly lower your blood sugars, your blood pressure, you sort out your tummy problems, you know, like my ulcerative colitis, my pre-diabetes, things like that. My energy came back within 3 days. I think after 3 days of doing this diet, I knew something was happening that was good. I felt different. There was a weird feeling that I'd forgotten I had, that from when I was a child, from when I was a teenager, I felt that feeling. So I knew something was good. I'd lost 3 or 4 pounds very quickly. Something was changing in me. Yeah, a new Louis was emerging. But after about a month, I'd lost 1.5 stones. So about, what's that, 20 pounds. I felt great. My energy was great. I then started thinking, you know, obviously I was eating fatty meat and eggs. I was eating eggs and bacon at lunch. Actually, no, at first I was just eating the one meal. But eventually, after about a month, I introduced eggs and bacon. So I was having eggs and bacon at lunchtime, and I was having a tea time meal, which usually was lamb or beef or pork bellies. So lots of eggs. I love eggs. Sometimes fish, sometimes prawns. But then I would have the odd salad, or I would have a red pepper, some nuts, maybe a tangerine, one piece of fruit. So I became a bit more keto. But what I have found that as soon as you go a bit keto, the weight loss stopped for me. Yeah, my body leveled off at around 11 stone 5. It's happy there. If you want to lose weight, you have to go carnivore. Only eat once a day. Do the 24-hour fast. That's when you start losing weight. That's when you see the best benefits of this diet. And your energy is, it's hard to imagine this, but the less I ate, so when I was more strict carnivore and I was doing a 24-hour fast, I had more energy. It's hard to understand, isn't it, guys? That's how it was. I'm going to press play on this. I'm going to go make a coffee.
To do this is to do 90 days of carnivore and then do a reintroduction phase, but you have to be very aware of what that means and diligent with your documentation and collecting of data when it comes to signs and symptoms. The best book out there that I would recommend if you're willing to put in the work and you're a self-starter is the book by Judy Cho. It's called Carnivore Elimination Protocol. I'm pretty sure
Yes.
is the name of it. You can buy that on Amazon.
Judy Cho, CHO.
It walks you through the entire process, and she gives you so much in-depth detail. It is so helpful. It is such an amazing book. If you're ready to put in the work and figure out what your proper human diet is, because we're each able to do a little. Some people cannot eat tomatoes. Some people cannot eat onions. Some people cannot eat dairy. To be able to figure out where you fit, that's very important. But you can't just take a little test and it tell you. You have to put in the work.
You cannot take the food sensitivity test. You cannot do your DNA, and that's not going to tell you what diet you're going to benefit most from. Those are very profitable myths, not profitable for you, but profitable for the people who sell them. You got to do some experimentation to figure out where you fall on the proper human diet spectrum.
So Judy Cho, she has 2 books. Both of them are amazing. So if you're willing to buy both of them, go ahead and do that.
I would highly recommend it. Yeah. Here's a question from Joey. I'm a huge fan of eating liver. I generally have 6 to 8 ounces per week. My question is, would it be more beneficial to have an ounce or 2 a day, or to have 8 ounces or so at a time during the week? So for those of you who don't know, liver is the most nutrient dense food on planet Earth. There is nothing that's more nutrient dense. Definitely not blueberries, kale, or Aussie berries. No, liver. So this is a great question, actually, because if you love liver and you're like, I'm going to eat 6 or 8 ounces of liver today, but then I've heard I could get vitamin A toxicity or something. Maybe I shouldn't eat any more till next week. I think it's actually better to eat a smaller amount, to eat 2 or 3 ounces 2 or 3 days a week, because when you're eating something that's nutrient dense, it's very hard for your gastrointestinal system to absorb all that nutrition from an 8-ounce hunk of liver all at the same time. You're going to wind up pooping some of it out. And so I would actually eat 2 to 3 ounces 2 to 3 times a week. For those of you who are afraid of liver, Nisha and I are about to do a liver recipe on her channel. If you just go to Neisha on YouTube, you'll find her. She's the most popular Nisha on planet Earth. She should pop up number 1.
She is amazing. Seriously, she's amazing. Go to her channel, Nisha. She is amazing. I'm not a big liver fan. I'm okay with a bit of liver. I have it. Maybe I'll have it with a few onions. But obviously it's full of goodness. So come on, all the goodness you need is in fatty meat and eggs and fish and liver, of course. Never think that because you are not eating salad or fruit that you're missing out on your body's what it needs. All the goodness you could ever need comes from fatty meat. Obviously all meats and fish, yeah, and eggs, yeah. So people don't understand this. People think, oh, I have to eat a salad to be healthy. I have to eat fruit to be healthy. It's not true. Your body absorbs the fatty meats much more easily than vegetables and fruits. So I'm 95% carnivore meat, and I will have, like last night I had a small amount of salad with my lamb, yeah, but a very small amount. I'll have a tangerine. I think I had a tangerine last night, but I won't get carried away. I won't start binging on fruit.
I'm gonna have to do all the work for this video, so whether or not it happens, we'll see.
It's not true. I'm going to do some of the work, I promise. So that'd be my answer to that. Thank you, Perlita. Thank you, John. Here's Lillian. My health conscious sister is a moderator and always thin, but has Hashimoto's thyroiditis and adrenal issues. How do I encourage her to try low carb, high fat? She fears fat, but she loves bread.
So just so you know, we're all programmed by society for the last 70 years to think that fat makes you fat. Fat is bad for you. We all cut off the fat off our meats. We pour away the fat off our bacon, out of our bolognese. It's good for you. Saturated fat is very good for you. Fat equals energy. People don't know this. Fat equals energy. You don't need sugar for energy. This is the mistake of society. This is how we've been misled. Most of the recommended food guidelines for the last 70 years are wrong. We're encouraged to not eat the foods that are good for us, like fatty meat and eggs. It's ridiculous. We're scared. We're made scared of cholesterol. Cholesterol that you eat isn't bad for you. Cholesterol that you eat. People think binging on vegetables and fruit makes you more healthy. It doesn't. Your body wants what it was ancestrally designed to have. And that is fatty meat and eggs and salt and water. That's what we've been eating for millions of years. Wheat is not good for you. All these very colourful cereals that we're encouraged to eat are not good for you. They cause damage. Oats are a big thing for causing digestive problems and pain here. Many people are in pain because of eating cereals, oats. So we have to rethink everything. Everything we've been taught is wrong. It's upside down. Now there are thousands and thousands of success stories on YouTube. People doing carnivore and keto and transforming their health. I'm one of them. I am an experiment that worked. I've been on this diet for nearly 2 years now. So guys, it completely cured me. I was very unwell. Just going to get my coffee, guys.
This is super common among thin people. I can tell you some of the most severe diabetics I've ever met in my life were very thin, type 1 and type 2. Just because you're thin does not mean you're metabolically healthy. That is absolute fact. And so I would highly encourage your sister to get her A1C checked, but also to get her fasting insulin checked, because very, very often people are not type 2 diabetic, have a normal A1C, but their fasting insulin is sky high. This is very common in very thin people. That's just as dangerous as being a type 2 diabetic. And so she needs a full lab panel, like I talk about in the Common Sense Labs book. And she needs to know, really, the most important is A1C and fasting insulin. That's going to give us a bunch of information.
She says she has Hashimoto's.
Yeah. And so with Hashi's, if she's still thin, that's good. I'm glad. But if you have one autoimmune condition, you're actually at increased risk of having a second or even a third. Even more reason to be checking the labs routinely to make sure something's not sneaking
Has
up.
she been to anybody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to Hashimoto's? Because like the number one thing anyone will tell you with any autoimmune disease is to do an elimination diet and cut out gluten, which is the number one
100%.
ingredient in bread. So it sounds like she just doesn't want to know how to fix it.
Maybe.
Because she's still thin and she's not hurting bad enough.
Yeah.
Some people need to hit a really bad pain point to make any changes.
You know, being thin in America has become such a rare thing that it's actually just considered, oh, if you're thin, you're by definition healthy. And that's absolutely can be untrue. Nisha's exactly right about the gluten. Also, any grain, wheat, rice, oats, corn, contain a gluten-like molecule that can cause inflammation in the thyroid gland and make Hashimoto's even worse.
When she gets sick enough, she'll be ready to listen, but it seems like she may not be ready.
And I hope
listen.
I hope it doesn't come to that, but sometimes it does.
A lot of times it does.
It does. Caleb, my breastfeeding wife, her supply decreased on carnivore, and we happen to have a ketovore. We happen to have a certified breastfeeding consultant.
Caleb, it depends on how quickly she went from eating whatever she was eating to ketovore. If she was eating somewhere like 100 grams of carbs per day down to 10 grams, which is ketovore, that's fluid shift. It's probably temporary, but if she wants to just go back up to like 50 grams of carbs per day and then drop it more slowly, making sure you have plenty of salt, plenty of electrolytes, and plenty baby to breast, because that's the thing that makes more milk. It's supply and demand. Tell her for a few days to get up around 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. to do an extra either pumping session or feeding session. That'll increase supply too. It's most likely just the fluid shift. And as long as she keeps going and hydrates and gets those electrolytes up, tell her to bump those carbs up just to back up to 50. She can go all the way back up to 100 and then drop them slowly. It's just because when you drop your carbs so fast, you're going to lose a lot of water weight. And if you're breastfeeding, milk is made from water. So you're losing.
Sorry, guys, I missed that, but I'm sure you've learnt loads because these two are amazing.
All that water.
Yep, great advice. If you haven't already done so, hit the thumbs up or the heart, and please consider sharing this video on your favorite social media, because that's how so many people have found the good news of a proper human diet, is you guys sharing these videos. And then they're like, oh, I had that question. Oh, let me see what's going on here. Oh, he's got 1,200 other videos. Oh, she's got hundreds of videos. And then they're down the rabbit hole to better health. So please consider sharing this video.
Guys, honestly, please subscribe to both of these people, Dr. Ken Berry, obviously Nisha. Now remember, Dr. Ken Berry has saved thousands of lives, thousands. It could be more than that. He literally is a hero. He saved my life. I was heading for a heart attack. That's how unwell I was.
Now, let's see. Here is Gennaro. Is eating spicy peppers bad for humans? For most humans, probably not. Now, some people absolutely love spicy peppers. Some people hate them. I don't like them. Nisha doesn't like them.
How many spicy peppers are you eating though?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'll be honest with you, I've never had a problem with peppers or spicy peppers. It doesn't have a problem with me. One of the worst things for me is potato. Potato really upsets me.
I don't think anybody's eating 8 ounces of super spicy peppers a day. So, but there are people who are quite sensitive to peppers and other foods in the pepper family, and it can cause inflammation. But I think 60, 70, 80% of people can have an occasional small little piece of pepper and it not be a huge deal at all. But there are some people who should avoid them altogether. You just have to experiment.
Good advice, guys.
Drew, have you looked at reevaluation of the traditional diet heart hypothesis on PubMed? There's a
just one quick thing, guys. When you're doing this diet, obviously many of you will do a 24-hour fast at first. Fasting is very good for you. Please look up fasting. Understand why fasting is good for you. Your body doesn't need to snack and eat constantly every hour. This is another mistake. People constantly eating all day, thinking it keeps their energy levels up. It doesn't. It actually makes you more tired. Of course, it makes you put on a lot of weight. It's not good for you. It affects your sleep. Remember, carnivore diet also affects anxiety and depression as well. Eating the wrong foods will make you depressed, will make you have high anxiety. You'll sleep better eating the correct foods. When your body is given the correct foods, fatty meat, eggs and salt, saturated fats, it sleeps better. So there's so many benefits. If you've got aches and pains, if you've got arthritis, dementia, there's so many things here that are helped by eating the right foods.
A recent study on this, I think maybe what you're talking about, Drew. Yes, I have. I actually have a copy of the study and I'm working on a YouTube video about it. What many people need to hear, I think all 4,000 people watching this right now, you need to hear this. The diet heart hypothesis, meaning that eating saturated fat will cause heart disease. Eating cholesterol will cause heart disease. At best, this was only ever a hypothesis.
Now, remember what he just said. I want to rewind that bit. This is really important. Cholesterol has been used to scare us. You mustn't eat cholesterol. There's cholesterol in eggs, in meat. You mustn't eat it. It's going to give you a heart attack. It's bullshit. Now, remember, there are massive, massive corporations, businesses making billions, encouraging us to eat the wrong foods because it's in their interest, because of money. These massive companies like Kellogg's, these big companies selling all the cereals, all of these ultra processed foods that are damaging us, that are poisoning us, we are encouraged to eat them. If you walk into a supermarket, wherever you go, all the poisonous ultra processed foods and sugary carby foods are pushed into us, like the chocolate bars, the sweets. We're encouraged to eat it all. Everything looks beautiful, doesn't it? A beautiful pink donut. It's killing us all slowly. We have to disagree with the norm and start understanding what is the correct foods that we should be digesting. So don't be conned into this rubbish that cholesterol will damage you, that you eat. Butter is good for you, but we're all using margarine. Vegetable oil is poison. We all cook with it. It's not good enough, guys. We have to understand the truth. We've been lied to for 70 years.
Meaning a smart guy said, I wonder if eating saturated fat and cholesterol, I wonder if that causes heart disease. Let's study that. That made it a hypothesis. But all of the subsequent research has done a terrible job.
Now, remember, my blood pressure massively dropped after changing to fatty meat and eggs. It only took a few months.
Of proving that it's actually true. And that's why there's so much room for low carb keto, ketovore, carnivore eating, and so much health benefit, because I think that the diet heart hypothesis is false. I don't think it's true. And I think they're going to see in subsequent years that it turns out that it's just not true at all.
Yeah, I've got to take Ria to work, haven't I? Football, something, 10:45, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Sorry. Huh? Oh, you won't be here?
I don't know.
Yeah, come back for that, then I can take him.
Well, it depends on what
He
we've got.
wants to be there 10:45. Yeah, but it's 10 o'clock. Sorry, guys. Got distracted.
Yeah, if I'm not back, just take
Great question. Semi-retired Bob, just dropping in to say thanks again for saving my life. Among all the other things, lost 150 pounds, many drugs gone and conditions cured. Cardiologist scanned my graphs 7 years in, and all are perfect. Semi-retired Bob. He's got a good YouTube channel. If you like off the grid retired stuff with a little carnivore flavoring, with a little bacon flavor, you should check his YouTube channel out. Speaking of great YouTube channels, here's Chris Cook in Nashville.
What's up, Fran?
Stories of keto carnivore helping with therapy for bulimia. Have a new friend I want to encourage correctly. Thank you both for being awesome. So we have heard multiple case reports for people suffering from anorexia, bulimia, binging, and other eating disorders, and great results, because I have theories about, especially anorexia, that the mainstream medicine doesn't hold. And I've discussed this at length with our good friend, Michelle Hearn, who's a registered dietitian who used to suffer from anorexia.
She also has a book called The Dietitian's Dilemma.
Yes.
That talks a lot about this. So, Chris, I would look into getting 100%. That book.
But her and other dietitians who recommend keto or carnivore have seen definite improvement in people with anorexia, bulimia, and other eating disorders. I highly recommend you check out Michelle Hearn.
Guys, obviously they're recommending Michelle Hearn. Joanne, hi Joanne, I just got your comment. So I don't know what to say, guys. I know it sounds too good to be true. It is a miracle diet. It literally can fix almost everything. The number one thing I've learnt whilst we've been discussing this diet on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Obviously, there's many of us now that are doing this diet here on this channel and on Defending Elvis Presley. We've had a lot of success here, a lot of success. We're talking, like, I would say as many as 20 people. We have completely transformed their health, over the last year. Yeah. It could be many more. It works, guys. It works. Look up Dr. Ken Berry. We're going to come back and do a part 2 of this. Look up Nisha. I wouldn't recommend this diet unless I knew it worked. I'm going to jump over to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto now. No, sorry. I'm going to quickly now jump over and do a half-an-hour video on Defending Elvis Presley. And then I've got to take someone somewhere. Then I'm going to come back and do some more. So this is Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Thank you to Dr. Ken Berry. Please subscribe to him. Thank you to Nisha. Please subscribe to them. They're fantastic. I've got nothing but good things to say about both these people that, guys, save lives every day. Every day, these people save lives every day. So, let's just, is that his daughter? No, it's his wife. Lorna. She's very young looking, but she's in her 40s. So, guys, these people, I highly recommend them. Honestly, if you want to save your own health, save your own life, live longer, feel great, have energy, sleep better, reduce your anxiety. the big thing everyone wants is to lose weight fast, and just love life again. And if you want to be reborn as a new you, this is the way to go. The carnivore diet, the keto diet. Dr. Ken Berry gives the best advice. Go and watch his live streams and you will start to understand why the diet works, how your body works. Understand that many of the foods that we're told to not eat are actually good for us. Many of the foods we are encouraged to eat are bad for us. This is the problem in the world today. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump over to Defending Elvis Presley. See you in a minute. Yeah, Lorna. She's beautiful. She's beautiful, but she's around 40 something. Anyway, guys, I'll be over in a few minutes. I'll be over on Defending Elvis Presley. See you later, guys.